You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents A Better You. I am your host and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. I am a certified life and career coach. This show is all about lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. Our content creators will have 15 minutes to present a lesson to us. So let's wait no longer and bring out our guests for today. We have Alex Kaplan from California and Victor Hailey from California. Welcome, gentlemen.
Morning.
Good morning. Great morning.
Thank you so much for being here and for being here early. That's wonderful.
It's lovely out. The sun is up, luckily.
We have a
little West Coast in the house this morning. We get it. It's all good.
So why don't we start by introducing yourselves? Let us know who you are and the value that you bring to this world. We'll start with Alex.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Alex Kaplan. I'm the co-founding executive director of Substance. We are a premium entertaining, we're an innovative nonprofit that makes premium entertaining short films about addiction to help all those touched by substance use overcome the shame, blame, and stigma of the struggle. We're turning immersive cinema, movies you really like, short romantic comedies to thrillers and everything in between, into an approachable tool for behavioral change so that we can utilize entertainment and reframe entertainment as a more effective, efficient, and powerful tool to help all of us with personal transformation, behavioral change, and social impact. These films go into education, treatment. They're there for personal support, and yeah, that's what I do.
Thank you, Alex. It's always a pleasure to see you again. And
Same
Victor,
here.
Welcome to you. And let's hear who you are and the value that you're bringing to this world.
Hey, yeah, great. Thanks for having me here today. Victor Hailey. I am the executive director. I run an organization called Second Half Consulting. I do executive coaching and philanthropy. And I say that intentionally because those two do, in fact, go together. I've developed a program and a process that I run called Balanced 5. It's about belief, brain, body, bonds, and business. We'll get into that in a moment here after we get into my portion. And just finally, my intentions for today, this is a little bit of a giveaway, but my intention with our organization is always to help people find purpose, create balance, manifest potential, live extraordinary, and change the world. So you'll see more about that today.
Well, this is so exciting. I can't wait to hear these presentations. So just as a reminder, you'll have 15 minutes and I will actually have a timer set for you to help you stay on track. And we will start with Alex, and then Victor, you and I will give him some feedback. We'll go to commercial break, and then we'll start with you. Sound good? All right.
Wonderful.
How do you feel, Alex? Are you ready to go?
Let's go.
All right. I'm going to spotlight you, and I'm going to put up the 15-minute timer.
I feel like I'm at the Oscars.
All right. Take it away.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? So, like I said, I am the co-founder of Substance. We make premium entertaining short films about addiction. That's not a mistake. I am a filmmaker. I started my career as an actor. And when I was 23, I lost my father. And everything I ever knew was quickly stripped away, which is my struggle, is my trauma. Right. And I crawled into a bottle and under a big mountain of drugs in order to run away, in order to numb, so that I didn't have to feel the big feelings that I was feeling. Mourning and grief are very challenging, but I was also scared. I was just scared about the world. I was very lucky. I grew up very privileged, which is very, very lucky. However, it set me up for a very interesting journey. I luckily never had to work a day in my life as a kid. I didn't really take things seriously. It set me up with a mindset of I don't have to worry about anything. As privileged as privilege gets, right? But once I lost everything, we lost our money. I lost my mentor, and I was 23. And what I realized now is that I was afraid that I couldn't do it, that I wasn't good enough, that the chickens had come home to roost, because all of the things I never paid attention to and all the skill sets I ignored and my lack of experience as a working professional was going to bite me in the butt. And I ran away. I was afraid that I wasn't good enough. My insecurities got the best of me, and I ran away. I spent about 4 years in numbed in a drug and alcohol induced, not coma, but walking coma, right? And after 4 years, I realized I was over the mourning process. But now I had this habit I couldn't kick. So I sought help for myself. And luckily, I sought help for myself, which was a tricky journey, right? I tried different things that worked and didn't work. And finally, I found something that really stuck. The reason I mention all this is because I wanted to talk today about struggle, right? And what that means as a individual, as a human being, and as a professional. In my 8-year journey since choosing to start to get sober, from then to today, I have fallen a lot. I have learned to pick myself back up. The best lesson I learned in getting sober was that it's not about learning not to fall. It's about getting better and better at learning to pick yourself up and move forward. Always move forward. As long as you get up and try, you're good to go. Now, my relationship with struggle has evolved more and more quickly as time goes on. Like, struggle never disappears, right? It's part of the human condition. It's part of the human journey. So the more we try to avoid struggle, the less we allow it to work for us. And I think that there is a great opportunity in allowing struggle to work for us. Something I've learned is there's two ways that we grow: through Kensho and Satori. Kensho growth is growth from pain, right? Losing one's father, losing one's home, losing one's family, losing money, losing loss, right? Trauma, anything we might go through. It stirs something within us to need, like an innate need to evolve, shift, and change and grow. But who wants to grow only from pain? Like, that's just not the way we want to live our lives. And so Satori growth is growth from enlightenment, right? It's choosing to grow, choosing to improve oneself intentionally. And so it's funny, the more they act relatively to one another in life. So the more Satori growth you bring into your life, the less Kensho will arrive. And I believe that that's because your relationship to struggle really starts to shift. Just before COVID hit, I was still in Philadelphia. I was moving out to LA. I moved to LA 3 weeks before COVID hit. But I was leaving Philadelphia, and I realized that in my journey of starting this, getting sober, learning to be a professional, leaving my job, and feeling confident enough to start this nonprofit, I realized that my relationship with struggle through my journey of getting sober had really shifted for the better. And I realized that not in an arrogant way, but I would never fail again. And that's not because I won't fall down, but really I realized that struggle is simply part of the growth process, right? Every time I'm struggling, I'm leveling up, I'm improving. Every single time I'm struggling, I am going through the dirt because I'm processing something. I'm in that uncomfortable place. that allows me to learn, to improve, to evolve myself from the person I am at this point, right? If we just stay at the status quo, if we don't experience struggle, we stay at the status quo. We do not improve, we do not grow. However, if we embrace struggle, if we look at it through a lens of friendship even and love, and we start to recognize that, hey, if I'm struggling, that means I'm growing, then we can look at it a little bit differently. Then we can be more optimistic and positive about it. There's a really amazing TED Talk called Great Leaders Do What Drug Addicts Do. It's Michael Brody Waite. And he talks about how the best addicts make the best CEOs because of the things that we learn in getting sober. And the three things he talks about, the three things he learned in getting sober that he applies as a CEO is practicing rigorous authenticity, surrendering the outcome, and doing the uncomfortable work. And doing all of those are wonderful lessons. I recommend the TED Talk. It's brilliant. But doing that uncomfortable work, that's that struggle. Embracing that struggle is what allows us to leap exponentially forward in our productivity, in who we are, in experiencing the life we want to experience, right? And so, realizing that just a year and a half ago was tremendous for me. It's just changing my relationship with struggle. And so then COVID hit, right? COVID has been a very tricky time for all of us, right? I am very lucky and very privileged. I have not had anybody in my immediate family sick, and we're very lucky. And so, but for those of us who do not have somebody who physically got sick, we've all been in this very interesting pressure cooker of emotion and fear. And I think that we've all learned a lot about ourselves during this time. And so something that I learned and I experienced is that it took me some time to recognize this, but you know that feeling that just comes up, those days when you just wake up and there's just dread. You don't want to get out of bed. You're afraid of the world, and you're afraid of showing up, and you're afraid of what's going to happen. I know that not everybody experiences that maybe all the time. I have a feeling that everyone experiences that one day out of every 5 years, if not much more frequently. And what I realized is that every time that I would feel this random, deep gut feeling of dread, of fear, those voices in my head would come back that like, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. It's not going to work. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to fail, right? Those just come out of nowhere. And then what would happen in this pattern over COVID is once I'd get through that and I'd talk about it, within about a day or two, I would have an epiphany moment. I would have this eureka experience where I would have a remarkable amount of clarity around something that was bothering me. That was just, I was just bashing my head against the wall about either something that I was aware of or something that I never had even considered, right? What I realized was my subconscious was already working on some things, even if I wasn't aware of it. And so what I recognized through several experiences of that through COVID, especially in the past 5 months, is that every single time I'd experienced that unjustified, gut wrenching feeling of fear and insecurity, and I don't know, it would always more and more quickly, exponentially lead to aha. And so now, I'm not kidding, just about 2 weeks ago, I was driving with my wife. I was in one of those moods where I was just like, nothing's good enough. I don't want to go for a walk. I can't work. I don't want to do any of this. I was just like in my habit of running away because I just had that unjustified feeling. Katie was like, let's get in the car. Let's go for a drive. And we go for a drive, and out of nowhere, I just have this realization that, oh my God, I have that feeling that leads to eureka. And I got to get to that next step of understanding my relationship to struggle and evolving my relationship to struggle. So now, which takes some time, right? Now, when I experience that awful feeling inside, that fear in the back of my head, that like twist in my guts, that's just like, I'm not good enough. I don't want to. I don't know what I'm doing. Everything that's negative, all of those insecurities. Now I realize, oh, good. That's a good thing. I know that leads to eureka. So I'm going to embrace it, and I'm not going to fear it, and I'm just going to let it go. And so that's the thing about this, is just like wherever you are on your journey with understanding your relationship with struggle, this is an infinite game. It doesn't end, right? Life is about the journey, not the destination, right? And so what my wish for you is that the more you experience struggle, if there's anything to take from me today, it's do not fear your struggle. Embrace your struggle. The more you embrace it, the sooner you embrace it, the sooner it can help you, the faster it can help you. Because every time you're struggling, it's simply an opportunity to grow. It's simply an opportunity to see that you are evolving, and for the better, right? So honestly, that's all I have today. It's I hope that you're all doing well. I hope you're staying positive. It's exciting that we're coming out of quarantine and things are moving forward. But just because we're coming out of this struggle, don't avoid more. The more you run towards struggle, the more you get to evolve and grow and show up as the person that you want to show up as. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you having me here.
Wow. What a powerful message, Alex.
Thanks.
I've heard you speak so many times, and I still am just blown away that your story that you share so transparently and so authentically, and the way that you're able to tie it all together to have a message that really resonates, that everyone can relate to, is just outstanding.
Thanks, Jacalyn.
Victor, any comments from you?
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. It is a great story. And it's funny, I'm sitting here, I'm, up to present next, and I've got my little Apple pen here, and yet I find myself taking a bunch of notes. I do absolutely love your story. I love this idea of growth through Satori and growth from Kensho. I was not familiar with those two terms, so I learned something today, which is awesome. And I might actually use those and take those to go forward. What I also love is your eureka moment. I wrote an article about my eureka moment, and so I love sharing that. And I guess my thought or wish, as you said, Alex, today is that everyone can find their eureka moment, because it's so critical in making that enormous change in life. So thank you for sharing that today. It was awesome.
Thank you. I love the way you say that. It's what I've started to find is that the eureka moments don't end, right? They just, like, the more you the more you practice just like running towards struggle, the more you create opportunities for more eureka. And it's just like, yes, there's that big eureka moment, of course, as you find who you want to be and maybe have that understanding of how you might get there. But like, the more you just bring magic into your life every day, like, those eurekas can just start popping, and it's possible. It is so possible for anyone.
Absolutely.
Thanks, I totally agree with you. And when you were talking about having one of those days, maybe once every 5 years, I used to have one of those days, like every Monday for some reason. I would just be depressed and just feel like a loser, and I don't feel like doing anything. And then you push yourself to do it, and you feel so incredible. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm not a loser. I'm not a failure. I'm not a zero. And so I let myself have that negative talk, in my head for 5 minutes. And I'm like, that's it. You got to cut it out. Let's move on.
Yeah, I know. And I didn't want to assume that like everybody has those crappy days at least once a week. But I think the majority of us just sometimes have it, right? I think that's the human condition. Our monkey mind, our lizard brain, our egos are there to protect us and scare us into staying in the familiar. And that's just part of our biochemistry. So I didn't want to assume that everybody experiences that. But for those who experience it once every 5 years, my hat is off to you. I'm coming after you. I'm challenging you.
Fantastic. We are going to take a commercial break and hear from our sponsors, and we will be right back. And then we'll move on to you, Victor. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The world of healthcare is benefiting us in many ways, but the risk of becoming a victim to an airborne infection is increasing at a fast pace too. There are threats from viruses, allergic pollen, and chemicals which cause you loss of health, income, business, mental health, family and friends. All are at stake. One solution to this threat are the BV Air Sanitation Placide-based systems. When you call our team on 0208 104 3253, you find out about the amazing protection available. Protection that uses certified Battlefield, tested, standard and customized air disinfection systems for your personal and business use. Each system uses a filterless technology known as Placide, which attacks all airborne particles with microlighting to destroy and eliminate viruses and other harmful particles in your office, transport and home. You also benefit from extra bonuses such as low running and maintenance costs, no regular filter and part changes. You get to work with our trained experts and professional staff and be made aware of the latest in airborne protection and disinfection strategy. Keep yourself healthy by working with our trained experts and Placide virus killing systems, which keep you safe from airborne viruses. BV Air Sanitation Limited. We save lives, save businesses, and prevent infection. Schedule your free consultancy call and virus protection checklist. Call 0208 104 3253 or connect to us on www.bvbuster.com.
I don't think men are superficial idiots, that their brains are wired to be visual. You're told I give great advice.
Nike Just Do It for exercise, I think really applies to sex, too.
I've coached hundreds of men and women.
So I disagree with her where she's like, put it all out there on the first date. You know, an open book is not sexy.
Exactly. You know. Do you have relationship questions? Chances are one of my clients or myself or my friends have gone through the same thing, and I already made a video about it. So I invite you to check out my YouTube channel, Donna Barnes. I've made hundreds of advice videos based on real-life experiences so that you can make better choices.
In my upcoming Breakup Recovery Action Plan, there's going to be checklists and quizzes.
Best information that I've ever experienced or acquired. If you're stuck and can't move forward or let go, my action plan is built to help you. Subscribe to my channel. I'll help you have better relationships.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents A Better You. My guests today are Alex Kaplan and Victor Hailey, both who are consummate professionals and experts in their field. We just heard from Alex and now we're going to hear from Victor. Are you ready to go?
Ready to rock and roll. Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to solo you and let me find our timer and take it away.
Drum roll, please, right? Love it. Well, thanks so much again, Jacalyn, for having me here today. Alex, you're a tough act to follow. A better you. You folks are all here today because you want to be a better you. And man, that is just a great start. And it's what excites me about sharing some thoughts with you all today. Why? Because you're starting from the mindset that you have great potential. You're listening today to further unlock that potential. And it's really disheartening, unfortunately, to think that so many people lose the drive to explore life beyond ordinary and reach their full potential. So before we get started, I'd like everyone to join me for just a quick intention setting exercise to jumpstart your focus and help you gain more from this talk today. It involves a bit of movement. So for those of you who are joining in your car or operating heavy equipment, you're absent from this one. Anyone who can do it safely, I'd like you to get both hands free so that you can join me. That's right. Put down that cup of coffee for a moment. And we're going to get some of you out of your comfort zone right from the start here today. We're going to connect our words, our actions, and our thoughts together to make a more impactful mental connections and begin to move towards becoming a better you. So there are 5 quick moves. Repeat after me, if you would. Find purpose, create balance, manifest potential, live extraordinary, and change the world. I'll repeat them for you. Find purpose, create balance, manifest potential, live extraordinary, and change the world. Now that's called intention setting. Recently, while I was doing research on this topic, I came across a statistic that I hope will cause you to take action today. It sure did for me. 98% of people die without fulfilling their dreams. Yeah, now I know that's a sad and daunting fact. It stirred me to live life striving to reach my full potential every day. I wrote an article recently entitled, "What I Learned from a Porsche 918 Spider." Now, for those of you who aren't necessarily car enthusiasts, this is a $950,000 sports car. It is a beautiful artistic and engineering masterpiece. It can go from 0 to 60 in just about 2.5 seconds and reach top speeds of 219 miles an hour. To say it's got potential is an understatement. In my mind, there should be some sort of race car driver's license to get behind the wheel of this miniature 4-wheel jet, if you will. In my article, I share how I was at a stoplight when this vehicle pulled alongside of me. I'm a car buff, so I was just mesmerized at the sighting of this vehicle. After scanning the masterpiece for a few seconds, I caught a glimpse of the driver. Now, I'm not judging here, but there was a woman behind the wheel who looked, well, let me just paint a picture with you with some facts. She was sitting so close to the steering wheel that her thumbs were practically under her armpits. And at the end of her fingers were these perfectly manicured, bright red fingernails that were so long that she couldn't possibly operate her iPhone without the assistance of facial recognition and Siri. She did look old enough to have been my grand and possibly great-grandmother. And the skin on her face seemed to have been stretched across her cheekbones and tucked under her earlobes a time or two. Now, I've learned in my life to pause and do my best to eliminate judgment before getting to know someone. But I must say that in this particular instance, my judgment was pretty close to accurate, which was this, that the vehicle had far more potential than she could handle. The story goes on to describe how I took how long it took her to get across the intersection. I'll say that for a later part of the story. But isn't that how life is sometimes? There is so much potential locked inside of each one of us, just like the 918, yet so few of us come anywhere near unlocking that potential. I think this just may be how our Creator looks at us sometimes. pondering the thought, I've given them so much extraordinary potential, yet so few of them tap into it. Why is this, I've wondered? I believe it comes down to one thing: comfort zone. And that's what I'd like to talk with you about today. Alex hit on some of these points perfectly. Comfort zone. The fact that you're tuning into this show today puts you ahead of billions of others in taking a step towards stepping out of your comfort zone and towards manifesting your potential as a human. Now, I'm a visual learner. I'm going to paint a few pictures with you today. I'm not going to share my screen necessarily. I was thinking about doing that, but I actually just like to give you some visuals. So there are two things that we've been given that no matter what our age, race, creed, ethnicity, religion, shape, size, or birthright, we all have these two things: potential and time. I'd like to call the potential extraordinary potential, because I believe that we do, in fact, we're all born with extraordinary potential. But it's how we use the combination of these two things that will determine the level of success of the dreams that we achieve in our lives, and how we use these to accomplish and to serve the world. But as we tap into our potential, there are 5 zones that I'd like to talk about today that we experience. Now, there's plenty of research on this topic that I won't go into today, but the zones are defined as follows. Survival, that's the lowest level. Living every day just to satisfy the basic needs and making ends meet. The next zone, our comfort zone, where your basic needs are met and where most of humanity tends to spend their adult lives. We step into the next zone, the fear zone, where you step beyond your comfort and begin to face your fears head on. Beyond that is the learning zone, where you begin to stomach your fears and begin to learn about yourself and new experiences. And then finally, the peak, the pinnacle, the grow zone, where you're stretched to take on a new shape and live into your capabilities. For those who are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you'll see how this aligns. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a theory of motivation which states that 5 categories of human needs dictate an individual's behavior. They go in direct alignment with the items I just discussed. At the basic level, our needs are physiological: air, food, water, rest. Maslow states that these basic physiological needs must be addressed before humans move on to the next level of fulfillment, which is safety and security, kind of aligned with your comfort zone. That's protection from violence and theft and emotional stability and well-being. Health and security also fall here. And then finally, financial security. Now, above that, we have love and belonging, the need for relationship and care from our community or our tribe. This also includes physical and emotional intimacy. This can include belonging to a family, a community, a church, a team of coworkers, a group, a club, or even a movement. Next, we move into esteem, the need to be seen as accomplishing things, self-respect, the belief that you're valuable and deserving of dignity, and self-esteem, confidence in your potential for growth and accomplishments, respect and acknowledgement from others, and your own self-assessment. At the highest level of fulfillment is self-actualization, the fulfillment of your full potential as a person. Now, these include education, skill development, the refining of talents in areas such as music, athletics, arts, language, travel, and caring for others. Out of the gate as children, we have no fear and are eager to live curiously and learn and grow. So we immediately step out of our comfort zone and into the learn and grow space. Now think about it. When you're a child learning to walk or ride a bike, we have no problem with falling time and again to reach our goal. This continues as we experience adolescence and we go into early adulthood. However, as the data shows, the vast majority of humans reach a point where they become stagnant in their lives. They stop reaching for their dreams and goals and settle for mediocrity. So what's the force that's pulling us, the barrier that's blocking us from reaching out for more of our life? I believe that force is the comfort zone. Whether it's what we see in looking at other people's lives, the culture that we live in, the fear of how others perceive us, or the lack of desire. These are all brought on by the living in our comfort zone. Now, it's generally not until an inciting incident takes place in our lives that pushes us out of the comfort zone that we make major changes in our lives. Think about the following: the death of a family member, a divorce, a major health scare, or losing a job. These may all cause us to rethink our purpose and perspective. Generally speaking, after we recover from that incident, we take action to make major life changes. This, however, generally is limited to a short-term effort. We tend to quickly fall back into our old ways and remain in this comfort zone. Over time, this leads to a life of mediocrity, a life where we're part of, that 98%. So today, I'd like to offer up 5 things for each of us. That's right, 5 things for each of us. I'd like to offer up 5 whys, 5 hows, and 5 intentions. 5 whys, 5 hows, and 5 intentions. My 5 whys, 5 reasons why we should step out of our comfort zone. Number 1, change. All of life is about how we handle change. Stepping out of our comfort zone in small incremental ways helps us handle change that enters our lives. Number 2, growth. Whether you succeed or fail at something that you push yourself to tackle, the real outcome is in the experience, as Alex talked about. Simply taking the risk to challenge yourself leads to personal growth. There's no such thing as failure if you grow from the experience. Thirdly, wisdom. You've likely heard that knowledge is the beginning of wisdom, and this is so true. But in order to reach wisdom, we have to add experience to the equation. So knowledge plus experience equals wisdom. Fourth, potential. Challenging yourself pushes you to dig internally and find your true self, unlocking an untapped source of your being that you didn't even know existed. You have no idea what you're made of until you venture outside of your own familiar world. And fifth, life. Real life exists on the other side of your own personal thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Your real life is the sum total of all of your experiences, not just the ones you're comfortable with. Neil Donald Walsh coined the phrase, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. 5 hows. That's right, 5 ways how you can step outside of your comfort zone. Number 1, dreams. Write it down and share it with someone. Number 2, plans. Make an action plan for reaching your dream. It's just like creating a roadmap when planning a trip somewhere. Third, habits. Align your habits with your dream. Every action you take should be in alignment with the dream. If, for example, it's reaching your dream physical well-being or weight by your next milestone birthday, align your habits of eating, sleeping, and moving around that goal. Fourth, action. Take action immediately. Simply take out a pen and paper right now and start working towards your dreams. Fifth, track. Keep track of your progress. Peter Drucker, a business management legend, says it this way: what gets measured gets managed. What gets measured gets managed. So you've got to track them. And now I'll leave you with the intentions that I started with. It's the 5 intentions to living and fulfilling life. In my practice, I teach this process and help people to do this every day. So are we ready again? Intentions. Find purpose, create balance, manifest potential, live extraordinary, and change the world. Now, I hope that each and every one of you has gotten something out of this speech today. I hope you've been able to take the first step towards getting out of your comfort zone. And if you go to my website, victorhailey.com today, you can receive a free gift, which is an evaluation worksheet to determine your own Balanced 5 GPA. Thank you guys so much.
That was brilliant. I'm sitting here taking notes, frantically writing everything down. And I love the physical activity. That was really good too.
We got to tie the mind, the thought, the words, everything together. Alex, I think it was great that I actually followed you today. Thank you so much, because you really set the bar, and I hope that I was able to pay off on some of those thoughts and help people put it into action today.
You most certainly did. You actualized the philosophies that I was just yammering about. It was absolutely impressive. Thank you so much. I learned so much today.
Awesome.
And I really like how you separated it into the, the why, the change, the growth. I mean, all those things are just so important to consider and look at our own lives. And are we in our comfort zone? If we are, why are we staying there? Do we have dreams? Are we putting things down on paper? Are we telling people? So I think this was a great lesson. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you so much.
Any happier with you two today? Fantastic. That's why you're here. That's why you're charter presenters on A Better You.
Thank you.
We are going to take a quick break, and we're going to hear from some more of our sponsors. I want to thank Ben Chai. He's one of our new sponsors. He's also a charter presenter, and we ran his ad at the last break. I want to thank him for joining us and for letting us know about what opportunities he's developed to try to help get rid of airborne viruses. So that was really interesting. All right, stay tuned. We will be right back. Hello, I'm Dr. Jacalyn. Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents A Better You. And here to tell us more is the creator of A Better You, Al Cini. Al, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. It's always a pleasure working with you and everyone out there. You might be a coach working with individuals professionally or personally, or you might be a consultant working with businesses, or you might be a trusted advisor specializing in an area like finance, let's say, or the law or healthcare. Whatever of those roles you relate to, you all have one thing in common, and that is you're working every day to help people become better versions of themselves, a better you. And Dr. Jacalyn's A Better You program is an opportunity for you to express your expertise in a particular area for 15 minutes in front of an audience of people who are looking for help from people like you.
Yep.
So, Dr. Jacalyn, maybe you can tell everybody how they can learn more about this.
It's so easy. You go to abetteryou.tv and you sign up to book your session.
Networking sucks and people suck at it, but nothing gives me more life than walking around and talking to people in an audience and really being able to identify, okay, I see where you're having trouble, let's work on fixing it. How do you help them? How do you provide value? My goal is to give them those tools to be able to go out and tackle that fear. Anywhere there's coffee is where I'll be. So I bring candy a lot to my speaking engagements. Like, of course that makes sense. I'm a little unconventional.
Ashley was very knowledgeable.
Very entertaining.
I learned a few new things, and to me that's the key.
What do you want them to say? How do you want to be perceived? You're going to get the most direct, tactical tips and practical takeaways when it comes to networking. These two here are super important. You'll remember once the conversation started.
I love the tips that she gave out. I hate networking with a passion, so I feel like I can go through a meeting or event and not feel so uncomfortable.
When you're going to a presentation, you want to be educated. You also want to be entertained.
She was really fun and really personable, and everything she was saying was just very relatable.
She's got a lot of great ideas.
That will make you stand out so fast.
She comes across as someone that likes what they do and just doesn't try to sell you something.
Activity breeds results. If you're not doing anything, you're not going anywhere.
Just made me want to start networking, which I never thought I'd say before.
A networking strategy that works for you.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Carruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Abella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book, Abella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Abella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents A Better You, live here on Business Talk Radio and social media. I am your host, Dr. Jacalyn, and my guests today are Alex Kaplan and Victor Hailey. You guys nailed it, and we have a comment from Jean Schulte. Hi, Jean. Great presentations. Enjoyed it very much. That's so nice of you to comment and let our presenters know they did a fantastic job. I also want to say hi to Fraser Ramsey and Tim McDonald and Rob Walsh, who also commented on Facebook, but I don't see it here for some reason. So you guys, I just wanted to talk for a few minutes about people who are listening in Radio Land and people who are watching. What was this experience like for you to present a lesson on A Better You? I'll start with you, Victor.
Oh, it was awesome. I love sharing just these thoughts and ideas. I've accumulated all this experience and knowledge and things over the years. And, one thing I've found as we reach certain points in our lives is that I consider the journey of life like a mountain climb. And those who do the mountain climb best, not only call ahead to those who have been on the journey before them and ask for input and advice, they also lock arms with those who are with them at the same place on the journey, but then they also proactively call back to those earlier in the journey and share their wisdom and experience and knowledge. So that's where I feel like I am in life, and I really want to be able to share some thoughts and experiences that I've had to help people just navigate that journey better for themselves.
And is it accurate to say that you have plenty of lessons to share with the world?
Plenty of scars, I like to call them, yeah.
Well, we're excited to hear more from you. Alex, how about you? What was your experience like today?
Victor really nails it. When I think about this incredible platform you've created, Dr. Jacalyn, with Al, it's just such a wonderful opportunity to bring people together and give opportunity to share and spread the wealth of experience and wisdom that we all have. Not just me and Victor and you, but everybody who has lived life has wisdom. And I think this is a wonderful place to challenge people to think about what they have learned. Victor talked about track, right? And track being the fifth why, I believe. And how, the fifth how. And one of the lessons I learned during this time in quarantine is an exercise called the reverse gap, right? Usually we think of our lives with regard to where we have not gotten to yet, and we connect our happiness to the things that we haven't gotten. And so it's just, if then I'll be happy, if I get that car, if I get that money, if I get that job. But the exercise I learned is the reverse gap, is take the time to sit down and look at the past 5 years, where you were 5 years ago and where you are today, and see that with all the things you thought you couldn't do, with all the times you thought you weren't going to survive, here you are. And think of all the things you have learned. All of those things you've learned are valuable lessons to share with others. And this is a tremendous place to get to share those lessons and challenge us to think about them and ponder. And And I have to say, I'm sorry, Victor really took the words out of my mouth. We're in it together, right? And so, the better you do, I do. The better I do, we do. And so this is a wonderful place to just share those lessons, because, we're all going to, somebody told me recently about the idea of a utopian society. A utopian society is a society where the I and the we meet with perfect harmonious friction, right? Where we celebrate each other's differences, each other's experiences, each other's unique wisdom and past. And we invite them to come together so that we can share them, learn from each other, and build towards something more wonderful that we could not create on our own. And this platform is creating an opportunity for us to create a society more like that. So thank you. I recommend anybody reaching out and sharing their wisdom on this show. It's tremendous.
Thank you, Alex, and thank you, Victor. I really appreciate that. And for our audience who may not be aware, we have a group of people who are charter presenters. And these are people that I have hand selected because they are experts. They are givers. They are not people who are taking, they're constantly giving and giving and giving. And so together with the charter presenters, Alcini and myself, we are building a platform of helping people be better. So what will happen as of today is that the two presentations that you did are definitely going on the Better You University because you taught us lessons. So I'll ask you to put together a 5-question quiz. And the quiz will be tied to the lesson. We'll put it up on a Better You University on your playlist, and then people can go there and they can see all of the lessons that you have, whether you put them on a Better You or you've already got them and they're in bite-sized pieces with a quiz, and our audience can get a certification. They can also be part of the reward program that we're putting together that I will definitely look for your input on. Victor and I have a lot of experience in that area. So we have the Better You University, and we also have Journey to a Better You, which is going to be a cruise next year where we will all get together with 10,000 of our closest friends, and we will cruise to being better. We will hear from coaches, consultants, trusted advisors, people in human resources. So it's all together helping people be a better you. And I thank both of you so much for being here. I want to let our audience know that if they would like to present, you just go to abetteryou.tv. And that's scrolling across the screen, abetteryou.tv. You pay $250, and that gives you the opportunity to present 3 lessons. So it can be 3 different lessons, or let's say you do your first lesson and it's not the way you want it to be, you can do 2 others. So whatever works for you. And we'd love to have you join us and get on the platform and start presenting. So that's all that I have to say. Any final words you want to share? Alex, I'll start with you and your contact information, of course.
Absolutely. So again, Alex Kaplan at ubsubstance.org is my email. Alex Kaplan, or none of that is true. Alex at ubsubstance.org is my email. It's on the banner on the bottom. Please visit ubsubstance.org to check out our films, learn more about our work, reach out, subscribe, connect. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your stories. Check out our films. We have 9 films on there. They are free resources. Share them. They might help somebody in your life. They might help you understand somebody in your life. They might make you or somebody in your life realize they might have some struggles that there are answers to. We are doing everything we can in 2021 to facilitate as many sponsored workshops as we can. These are 60 to 90 minute programs for private groups of friends and family, or for your organization, for a nonprofit, for your company, for your school, where we come in and we talk about substance. We talk about the power of connection to overcome shame and isolation in general. And then we watch a couple of movies and we talk about them. We love to come to you, to your home, to your town, to your group virtually. It's all virtual. And we'd love to get to know you. So please reach out. We'd love to come and do a workshop with you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And before I go on to Victor, I just want to say hello to Michael Harder and Sophia Nubani, who are also watching. So Victor, off to you. And I know you have a special offer for the audience today.
That's right. If you go to victorhaley.com, click on the Get Balanced icon, and it'll take you to a place where you can get a free evaluation. Just allows you to do what we've been talking about today, which is to evaluate the different areas of your life in order to give yourself a scoring, in order to be able to address that. It goes back to the idea we talked about tracking. So yes, you can find me. I'm Second Half Consulting. You can find me on my website, victorhaley.com. And I'd like to just end as I started, which is to encourage people to find intention. For me, find purpose, create balance, manifest potential, live extraordinary, and change the world. That's what we should all be here to do. So I appreciate you for having me here today, and I'm excited about connecting with your audience.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. You guys really make me proud. I love that name, by the way, Second Half Consulting. That's really good. So the last message I'll leave everyone with is that I have a new book that's coming out. My first book, it's called Behind the Green Screen, How to Succeed in the Live Broadcasting Business. And it's a story of my journey leaving corporate America, why I left, and then how I put together this radio/TV platform where I'm live streaming myself on Business Talk Radio, social media, able to take phone calls, although no one ever calls. So anyway, they will call it. So look for that book to come out soon. I'm excited about that. And I just want to thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And thank you to my two special guests, Alex and Victor. You really are phenomenal. So keep spreading your light and joy in the world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you later today. We have a show coming up at 2:00 on A Better You. And that will be two other presenters. And then we'll be back at 4:00 for It's All About Dating. We'll see you later.
Meet the modern learner. Like most of us, the modern learner is short on time, on the go, and wants to learn on their terms and device of choice. The key is to meet them whenever and wherever they may be. The solution? Best-in-class content served up by the Engagement mobile learning platform, where the modern learner is at the center of the learning experience. For example, they can receive a text message that alerts them to a new learning module. They simply tap, watch, read and engage, or play a fun learning game. We transform your content into modules that are timely, accurate, academically rigorous, yet engaging and robust. Personality motivators are blended with modern adult learning principles to make it faster and more natural to absorb the content and have fun while learning. Our cutting-edge platform offers something for everyone. It can be an immersive experience where learners explore and engage based on what's relevant to them in that moment, or they can follow a set curriculum, earning badges and tracking points toward a credit or goal, or they can dive deeper into high-value professional content relating to their topic of interest. It's binge learning at its best. All this, along with an entire portfolio of real-time usable data and KPIs for stakeholders. Imagine, share up-to-the-minute news, enhance current curriculum, build knowledge banks, drive sales, and foster community in the push of a button. To learn more or see a demo, please contact support@engagement.com.